we need to first understand what is financial independence, right? So when I speak to a lot of working women and I ask them what do they think about financial independence, they say that it is about making comfortable money every month, being able to afford my own expenses, and not having to ask anybody for money, right? But this is true as long as you are working. What happens after you stop working? What happens through your retirement? Even today, if we look at the societal ecosystem, the primary responsibility of let's say buying a house to live in, or funding education for children is still on the men, right? So financial independence is not just about your life today, but it's also about accumulating enough wealth for yourself so that you don't have to depend on anybody for finances today and forever till the time you're living, right? So what this means is that if somebody is targeting financial independence as a goal, they need to start accumulating wealth for themselves, and they need to have some target numbers in mind, that this is what I need to get to in 10 years, in 15 years, in 20 years, right? So since you mentioned different stages of life, let me kind of categorize women who are in different stages. So somebody, let's say, who's starting their career, for the first time, early 20s, I think for them it's very important to get some hold on budgeting and their expenses. I think in that age and with our generation, we don't have the kind of responsibilities our parents did, right? We are not married by them. We don't have monetary dependencies or families in most cases. So at that point, what happens is when you first start earning, you tend to not think about savings. You just it's the first time in life you are comfortable, and you should definitely live your life, but you need to have certain mental buckets in your mind, that this is what I'm going to spend on entertainment, this is what I'm going to spend on my utilities, and this is what I'm going to invest for my future, right? So it's very important to get a sense of what are your budgets, what are your expenses, and therefore what is it that you can save. As we grow into the career, and we have been working for 5, 7, 10 years, I think it's very important to start establishing goals for yourself. It could be so I have a lot of people who are in of the age of, let's say, 25, 26, 27, who say that I want to accumulate a certain corpus for funding my own wedding in 2 years, right? There are people who want to go for higher education, want to accumulate corpus for that. So this is for the younger generation. I think once women cross the age of 30, they start thinking about buying a house for themselves. If they are married, they start thinking about kids. If I also have a lot of women who have chosen to stay single, right? And there are some women who think of adopting kids also. So they don't want to get married, but they want to have adopted kids. So they still think about kids' future, right? So it's important to try and figure out what is it that you will need money for in the next 15, 20 years of your life. And then start that journey by building towards that journey, right? So as women mature, I think, they need to be more cognizant of the need for financial independence, because women naturally take more career breaks. They have more glass ceilings to deal with. So the journey may not be as easy or as smooth as it is for men. And I think women need to also learn the art of, negotiation, knowing their worth, knowing their career aspirations better, so that they can also fund the journey towards financial independence, right? So when they are young, I think it's more about just getting a sense of finances and becoming aware of the financial ecosystem. But as they grow in age, I think it is definitely about making a plan for yourself. And this is not different for men and women. The reality is that men do it. It comes naturally to them. Women don't do it. But if women also start doing it, it's pretty much the same thing that men do.
A very happy Women's Day to my fellow panelists as well as to our wonderful audience. What opportunities can we create for women from diverse backgrounds? Now, first and foremost, I think we need to understand the sets and subsets of the women in question. So it's important to actually have a SWOT in place about the women per se. and then work towards what kind of an opportunity you can create. Because see, there are 2-3 aspects to this whole game. One is the willingness to actually do something. Then comes the part where the skilling starts, because you may be willing to be the Prime Minister of India, but the fact is that there are a lot of skills and there are a lot of inherent personality traits which need to be polished and which need to shine to be ready for that particular job. So the willing and the skilling come into place. But the third aspect, which I feel is the most important one, to get anybody ready for anything. I mean, where there are women in sports today, there are women in the defense sector today, there are women in the corporate sector, and such esteemed panelists here who have been trailblazers in their thing. I think the third one is the most important, which is the thrilling part, because your passion has to come from inside. If you are not passionate about anything, then nobody can get you ready for anything, because success and passion are completely interlinked. So the willing, the skilling, the thrilling, it's only after that you can be chilling and say, yes, I've arrived in life, or yes, I've found my life path, right? So everyone who has achieved something or done well is a role model, and you can learn something or the other good from each individual you are with, senior, junior, equal. Everyone has something to teach you. But the truth is that your purpose in life, only you can decide. So while the whole world is there to help you, even in an organization, if someone has seen 100 biodatas and then hired you, they are willing to handhold you through that journey. But how far you go, only you can decide and determine that. Like there is a quote by T.D. Jakes. He says, if you can't figure out your purpose, figure out your passion. And your passion will lead you to your purpose. So first and foremost, the individual, the lady, the girl, whoever it is, has to also understand that what she wants to do and how far she's willing to make efforts for that. The help is all available today, that I can assure you. In our days, we didn't have any role models, because there was, in my sector, in real estate, when I joined in June 91, there were no women who I could say, they've been there for 3 decades and they've done this, and so can I. Or maybe if I need help, I can certainly approach them and figure out how to do this.
There is a saying that people are never too young to start caring for their own health. So I think it's important that women start taking care of themselves early. And now with a lot of preventive health checks available, the right age is to start at around 20, particularly for those who have a strong family history or personal history for certain diseases. Say, for example, blood pressure. We know that hypertension is just so common worldwide and even in India. So to get tested for blood pressure, that's the basic thing one can do every 2 years in the age group of, say, 21 to 29. And then even more frequently, if they have a family history or an individual history of heart disease, diabetes, etc. Then testing for lipid profile, the most common being cholesterol, at least every 5 years. Again, screening for diabetes, a very simple blood glucose, then glycosylated hemoglobin. That also, particularly if the person themselves are overweight, then already have a strong family history of diabetes in their family, known cardiac events, etc. Another thing that we very commonly are talking about today is the cervical screening. So that also should start by around 21 years of age plus. And during that age group, it is recommended that people go in for pap smears every 3 years. So, and of course, dental screening, dental tests, then of course, eye vision testing. So these are supplemental tests which people can start undergoing once they turn 20. To add to these set of tests, when they turn 30, they should be considering, again, cervical screening, doing an HPV DNA every 5 years, or maybe pap smear every 3 years. So that continues along with the diabetic screen, the BP screen, and of course the lipid screen as well. And the cervical screening should ideally continue till up to 65 years of age. Once a lady turns 50, it is important to get a mammography done. So it is actually advised that it be done every year between the age group of 40 to 44, and beyond 45 till about 54 years of age. It should be done every year. And beyond that, it's a conscious choice that a lady can take in discussion with their physician to be doing it maybe every alternate year. Another important thing is to consider going for an osteoporosis screening. So that means it could be a vitamin D, calcium, because that's when, the bone density starts to decrease a bit. People start having these bone pains, and women, particularly after menopause, become a little more prone to fractures, brittle bones. So osteoporotic screening becomes important at that age. Now, so these are the general tests that a woman should undergo in the age of say 20, 30, 40, etc. Additionally, if somebody has a family history of say thyroid disorders, they should consider a TSH, T3, T4. Then people with a family history of say, for example, ovarian cancer, then breast cancer, particularly amongst their mother, their aunts, then elder sisters, etc. So then the mammography should start earlier. Then in some cases, they might need to go for molecular testing also, like BRCA genes, etc., to see the possibility of them having inherited that particular mutation. To come to the individuals, to add to this, the individual's health status, there are many women who suffer from chronic fatigue, then generalized, not feeling very well or upbeat enough. So in that case, there are cases where people have menorrhagia, that is increased loss of blood during their periods. So it's important to get an iron profile done in that case, so that if required, they can be supplemented with iron, then maybe a vitamin B12. And if there are issues like frequency of urine, then burning sensation, etc., to get a routine urine examination done. For women who are finding it difficult to conceive, it is again important to get a hormonal checkup done so that an informed decision can be taken about their well-being. So I think briefly, these are the tests which can be sort of classified age-wise, family history-wise, and again the individual's health status-wise.
We are working on a concept of Nadi Pariksha, and where the Vaidyas, they used to keep their 3 fingers on your wrist and they could tell how healthy you are. Like ma'am said, prevention is the answer. So our system is Nadi Pulse Prognostics. We are providing a non-intrusive solution where you can check your health each and every day, and if there is something happening, some imbalance is happening in your body, that imbalance actually results into certain disease. So you can actually track the trigger point where your health is going off the chart. So this is how it is related in such a way where we talk about Vata, Pitta and Kapha, but at the end of the day, it is a biomarker, and where you can keep measure some health data, and you can predict at the end of the day that this person might have this sort of disease. So with our wristband, we are capable of predicting diabetes, fatty liver, kidney stone, cholesterol, uric acid level high, if there is any tuberculosis. So all that sort of stuff. As much as data we are collecting, the list of the diseases are being added. So like ma'am said, you should go for profile checkup once every year. So in our system, we recommend you should test yourself each and every week. You can check your whole family, and if there is something off with your health, then we provide a reminder that you should now visit a doctor. So to the doctor, we tell this person might have this possible disease. So we are preventing diseases in a way, in one line, with the help of knowledge of Ayurveda. Ayurveda does not limit itself with medication and It is not for after you are falling sick and then you are seeking healthcare. So Ayurveda is a way of living. We suggest food, yoga, lifestyle changes customized for the user, because in Ayurveda every user is unique, every person is unique, and a suggestion for them is unique. So we cater accordingly and we suggest these changes, and you can take care of your health in a very good manner. So though it may be a language of Vat, Pitta and Kapha, but at the end of the day, we are capable of diagnosing diseases, we are capable of predicting diseases and helping people. So remotely you can connect with the doctor. It is like Ayurveda with modern technology, and it can revolutionize the whole healthcare thinking itself.
Thank you for the question. See, digital health, telemedicine is basically an extension of digital health, is actually a very great leveler. It allows those who are away or those who have poor access to such services like healthcare to get them, to avail of them. And healthcare does not necessarily mean only getting in touch with a doctor. It also means getting information related to health. And this is where, although we have got a lot of information sources these days, digital health gives us the opportunity to get in touch without being exposed to the fact that you are asking for some information. A lot of ladies especially, they have women health related questions which they would rather not let anybody else know. So they would prefer that they get it on their own, and digital health makes it possible. Telemedicine, well, unfortunately, what telemedicine today has sort of devolved into is teleconsultation. That is not exactly telemedicine, but let's not get there. Let's just not talk about semantics, but talk about how one can get access to care on demand. Ladies, especially with children, they need attention for their kids' health on an immediate basis, and traveling to a doctor is always not possible, and invariably a lot of children do fall or do become unwell at odd hours, and at that point in time it is very, very challenging for the mothers to get in touch with somebody who could at least assuage their fears or anxieties regarding their kids' health. This is where telemedicine in the form of teleconsultation, but not necessarily teleconsultation, it can be even more, it helps in them getting that degree of comfort by getting some medical advice that could be helpful for the immediate needs. If it is so necessary that the kid needs to be brought into a healthcare facility, of course they would do that. But many a times, parents do bring in children who do not really require immediate attention, and they sort of clog the system by availing of services, because of course now once a person has arrived at a facility, the person who is able to afford gets priority. This is unfortunately the truth. Our public health system isn't what it should be, and this results in a situation where there is some sort of a degree of disenfranchisement of people who would require help, or at least attention immediately. So this is how I see it, that telemedicine and digital health can help in women's access to healthcare.